Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew here from Idea Traders. What's going on? What's going on? Hope you guys are having a great day, starting off well. We are rocking away here. We're doing really good. Tons of people are asking us great questions here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us here on YouTube. We're going to share another strategy this week. We want to talk about crypto a little bit because crypto is going crazy. We know you guys are making money. We're definitely making money. Everybody on our team is making money. We're doing really well with crypto. And just to share, we dropped a new course called the Crypto Alpha on Idea Traders. Go check that out if you want our new strategies, some technical analysis, and get the 101 that you probably need to improve and calibrate your already knowledge. I mean, it's crazy. Like if you're already putting money in, you can even make much more by doing that. 95% of our staff and team members who invest with us are doing extremely well because of that. People who bought our course, we have a 98% success rate. So we want to share that with you guys at theideatraders.com. Okay. So let's get into it right now. Let's talk about this strategy. Let's get into the technical detail. Let's jump over to my desktop and talk some more. I'll see you there in a minute. Lesson is great. But now we're going to jump into what we call the crypto rockstar strategy. So this strategy here is a really good one that I like to use. It helps me understand a little bit more of momentum and shows me how to use the technical analysis to align to where I need to go. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and move into it here. On my screen, you see we have TradingView up. We're going to talk about this CRS, Crypto Rockstar Strategy, real quick here. And we're going to talk about how to use it and how to define your placements when you're trying to get an entry and an exit, okay? So this is the common question we get for a lot of people is, I don't know when to get in and when to get out. So we're gonna use the right tools like we learned in our analysis part, and now we're gonna put them to work. So let's go ahead and do that. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set up our two indicators that we need for the strategy. There's two, okay? One is the SSL channel, okay? The second one is the EMA, okay? Exponential moving average. So those two indicators, you can see them right here. Nothing too crazy, just go into indicators here like we've taught you before, and you type in SSL channel and EMA, okay? So by default, SSL channel is set to 1010, and by default, EMA set to number 9. So I've already changed this. You guys can configure it by clicking settings here and then moving on, okay? So you can change it to 50, okay? EMA 50, and then hit OK. You can also make your EMA line a little thicker like I did, this blue one here. It's a little thicker, but I left the SSL channel as is, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use two time frames for this one. We're gonna use the 5-minute and the 1 hour, okay? And what we're looking for is for solid indication of when to take a trend trade, okay? And what that really means is that we're gonna go ahead and get rid of these EMA indicator. We're going to talk about this SSL indicator really quick. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see it here. If you're looking at the green and the red line, you got two there, right? When it's green, it's giving you the direction that it's going in the upwards trend, okay? So green's on top, upwards trend, it's a buy. If you got red on top, that's a sell, and it's a downwards trend, okay? So typically we can see that pretty clearly here. Here's a nice upwards trend, went right up, okay? If I scroll over, oh, sorry, let's go back out here. If I scroll over and zoom out just a hair, let's look at some red ones here. We got some red ones right there. Red was on top, nice downward trend there. Green came back up, red came back on top, green, red, green, red, green. So it really gives you that insight of where it's going. So from a 1 hour timer, we should be clicked on 1 hour here. And all I did was I pulled up one of my favorite cryptos, Ethereum, and we're just going to analyze this one here now and look for a good entry point. So I'm going to teach you how to do this. So here on the 1 hour, we're going to use the SSL channel for right now. Okay, we're going to go ahead and identify a nice upwards trend. That's what we're looking for, a buy. I'm doing a buy right now because most of you guys are on a platform where you can only buy. But if you are on a platform that you've looked at or you're playing around with, like for Binance or other platforms that let you sell as well, on the marketplace, then you guys could take some of the red ones as well for the downward trends, for the sells. Okay, but for right now, let's find a nice entry point here and let's talk about it a little bit more. So here we see a nice growth pattern here. This is an upwards trend. So we want to get on this ride. We want to ride this baby right here. Let's use this time frame right here, April 25th. Okay, right at midnight. We're gonna go ahead and switch our channel now and go into a different time frame. So let's do that. Let's go into 5 minutes. Okay. And we're looking for our time frame again here, right? So we were right over here. Let's slide over a little bit. Okay. We can zoom out a little bit. For you guys that don't know, you guys can zoom out of all of these patterns here as much as you want. I've broken this down to 5 minutes so we can see the downwards trend here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the SSL channel. I'm looking for this nice green indicator to tell me when there's an upwards trend. So hypothetically, if this was a nice green trend, we would look for this here. We zoom out. Now we're going to put the EMA line back in. Boom. There you see it. The EMA is the exponential moving average, guys. It's the average of 50 days, and it's weighted towards the newer days, right? So we all know that, okay? So what we're looking for now, and we can get rid of the SSL channel for the interim, what we're looking now is for an engulfing pattern. As we talked about, there's different patterns that you're going to need to understand. The engulfing pattern is pretty straightforward. We're going to wait for the price to return to the E50 EMA line, okay? So I'm going to zoom in right over here. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a candle to give me a clear, hey, it's time to buy. It's an engulfing pattern candle, okay? What an engulfing pattern, if you're not familiar with this pattern yet, is pretty straightforward. It's when we have a downwards trend, right? And we're looking for an engulfing pattern in a bullish trend. So that means it's when the candle reverses from red to green. That's a bullish. Now it's going bullish. And what we're looking for is for the engulfing pattern, the next candle to be larger than the last one. So we could see this one here clearly hit the EMA, and now we have the engulfing candle. So now we have a good entry point. This is where we're going to enter, okay? So I'm going to take my long play, my long position tool here, okay? And typically most people take their entry point here at their second candle, right? Because we got the confirmation. And we're going to set our stop loss here by scrolling up here a little bit. And we're going to go to the last lowest point, which is roughly here. I would almost use this one here as our lowest point for stop loss, just because I feel like this could retest if it had to, okay? This one here gives a little bit more below the EMA line. So just a little bit more of comfort. I'm willing to risk a little bit more to get a little bit more. So that being said, let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to scroll out. Now the way I use this is I want to look at the trend here and look at some of the last high points here, okay? So I'm zooming out. And we can see some really nice high points all the way up here. We got some here. So we could play this conservative and try to go for this one right here, okay? That would be about $130 delta, right? In gains, right? So we would get about $130. But if this continued going up, we could be all the way in 2,644, which would be about a roughly $340, $350 difference there. So, you know, don't count me for the math there real quick, but that's what the difference is. So we're going to set it a little conservative. We're going to set it right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little exit strategy here. So this is where we're going to exit at, this point right here. Okay, and there it's set. I'm going to scroll back over so we can see there's our exit point, okay? So what I want to do is I want to play this out for you so you guys can see what this looks like, okay? And I'm going to start it from right about here, okay? So let's say this was live and we had this going here. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more here. We want to look at this. We sandwich this down a little bit here. There we go, a little bit more conservative looking. All right, so let's go ahead and hit play here, okay? Here we see the candles playing out. It's below the EMA. We see it pop up a little bit. Okay. And then finally, we see the red candle right there hit the EMA line. Okay. And there is our engulfing candle. Okay. That's what we're looking for. So if you're watching this live, this is what you would be looking for. You set your trade point. Okay. Which would be at the next candle. So that's your next candle right there, right? We set it right there, okay? And now we set it to the next highest point, which we zoomed out earlier, and we've already done that. So here's how we're gonna continue growing our wealth, okay? So now we're looking for an exit. The exit will be this point right here. So now we're gonna watch it, and our stop loss is here, okay? So if this decides to go south and dip on you, well, you're losing 1.2% to gain 4.6%. So that's a pretty good ratio, guys. Let's see what happens here. We're going to go ahead and click it forward. We see it going up. Nice spikes here. A little bit of a push down. We're seeing the trajectory going up. We can see it going. Okay, there we got some nice strong candles. Come in and boom, we have a really strong candle. And right there is our exit. as you can see it right there. Okay, so this is the conservative side. Maybe after, these are 5 minutes apiece, so roughly after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, I'm sorry, 8 candles, which is 40 minutes, you had a nice exit there and you made some good money. Okay, real easy strategy, guys, not rocket science. As you can see, I said it, the stop loss to the last low points, we got our entry point at the second green confirmation candle, and then we have our exit at the spike. Now, if you're watching this pattern and you're watching it stronger, let's see what would happen if we would have been a little bit more aggressive. And let me slide up here. Could we have hit this spike over here? So this is quite a bit of a win here if we could. So I'm going to scroll up. Right about there is where I see that spike in the green candle right there. Okay, this is a red candle coming down, so I'm going to avoid that one. But let's see what happens. Let's continue playing this out here. I'm going to let it ride and see if we actually hit that. Oh, let me hit play button again. Let me zoom out right over here. All right, we're going to come back over here. Here it is. Okay. So yeah, so yes, we could have taken an exit right about there. Okay. And we would have exited. Let's go ahead and scroll this, make this wider. For anybody not familiar, you could take this tool here, your profit, and you can actually move it sideways. So let me zoom back in. Okay, let's zoom back in here. Let's go a little wider with the tool so we can see where it lands. And we can see when we hit that high point. Okay, so I'm going to try to zoom out here. I'm trying to get this all in here. I'm going to actually shrink down the sides here by dragging my mouse, in case you guys aren't familiar with that either. So this is where we tried getting in. This is where we got out earlier. Now we're trying to get the rest of the delta. So if you're watching this, you can try to get this here. Okay, so let's see what happens here. We see it continue going up. We see the EMA there moving up in a nice aggressive manner. This is the EMA, okay, the blue line, guys. Let's zoom in a little bit, and we're trying to aim for this upper target here, right? That would be a 15% gain. Okay, so we're going to continue going here. Looking good. And we're way far away from the stop loss area, okay? So we are in profits. So we can see that this is testing the EMA there. Not a problem though, because it's in a different zone now completely, right? We talked about creating trends in zones, supply and demand. So we have a different supply zone here, right? This is going across here, a couple more touch here. So we have a supply zone right there. We see it trying to hit it, but it's pushing right back up. It's looking good. Let's continue going. And this one might be a while, right? So these are 5-minute candles, and we'll look at what the duration is there to get that point. But this looks pretty good from a trending point. We see it starting to go sideways there a little bit, and it looks like it's going sideways. So maybe this one may not hit that soon. Let's see. Okay, we see it dipping. Still in that same range though, guys. Right? We see you can use these grids here to help you with the zones. You can see that it's sitting between this 25.20 and this 24.39 zone. This is your zone right here. Okay, use the grids to help you out here. A little quick tip. So we're going to continue going here, and I'm going to try to make this, I'm going to hit play actually for you guys. Boom. So we can see this continue going. Instead of me clicking candle by candle, we can see it going. And we're waiting to see that hit that green mark there. Will we see it before? Looks nice and strong still. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so let's pause right there. And right there where this little arrow showing us is our exit. Okay, so we exited from here to there. We exited right here. Okay, 15% gain. Okay, guys, that's a really good ratio. 1.29 risk, 15% gain. That's a really nice win. Okay, so how long did that take us? Okay, so let me just go ahead and move this out of the way. So we could see that we roughly took our entry point right about maybe a little bit more to the right there, roughly at 9:15 on April 25th. Okay, let's slide over. That's 1 day, 2 days. So about 2 days of watching this, tentatively, you got about that much more gains. So this was quite the move here, right? We left earlier here, but we could see that this was a little sideways here, a little aggressive here at the beginning, and then started going a little sideways, but still on an upwards trend, right? If we put our trending arrow here, okay? If we put our trending arrow across the tops, right? One here, this is looking good, right? That's looking great. Let's do the next ones here, okay? So let's see where this goes here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we can still see that the trajectory is in an upwards trend, right? pretty clearly there, right? And then we have some serious aggressiveness right at the end, right about there. And we can see that that's a nice upwards trend, okay? So that is how the SSL channel kind of gave us an indication that it was going that way. So now you guys see how to use the strategy. Pretty straightforward. I like to set it and forget it. So I set my exit point like I did earlier on my long position tool indicator and set it up there like that. That way I don't have to look at it. If you have time to look at it daily, then you guys can take a longer position because you can watch it and make sure that it doesn't come down here into your stop loss area. And if you need to adjust, you can, right? So a lot of people will typically exit here, and if they see it going well, then they'll re-enter, here, and put a stop loss right below here, right, to make sure they know where to give up, just in case it goes south. But if there's still more room to make money, then you make that adjustment. So that is a strategy. It's a really good strategy. It's not a 100% win strategy, okay? I don't know any strategy that's 100% win, but I want to be honest with you guys. This one pays me off pretty well, right? So typically out of 10 trades, I win about 7 to 8 and lose maybe 1 to 2, okay? So this is how you use the strategy. Again, the stop loss helps me from losing a lot of money and make sure we're risking minimal and getting out when the shit hits the fan. All right, guys. Great lesson, guys. Let's go to practice now on this one. Go set up your favorite crypto. Do the same thing I just did and use it in your live trade. Use it in your virtual live trade and see how many you can score. All right. I'll see you guys in the next lesson. It's Alpha Andrew. See you.